To some degree, we're all contextual beings. How we react and respond depends a lot on the circumstances, our frame of mind, what we want at the moment. And as this crazy school year ends, do you really want to learn how to use a new tool? For the last 2.5 days, I've been building this from scratch and using that exercise to walk you through step by step how to use the game mechanics and how to begin to think in Gameful, but purely from a structural point of view. Nothing soulful, nothing that is really important. Now, this third column is all about how it makes your life simpler, more efficient. That has value. But unless you wrap your head around the bigger picture, all of this is going to lack meaning to some degree or another. And I'm not saying that you can't build your own meaning. I want you to do that. That is critically important. Because a teacher without passion, you wouldn't do it if you didn't have passion, if it didn't matter. But when you like to do something you'd never done before and bring the kids along with you to have it be an adventure, something none of you had ever done before. I mean, that, to me, sounds really exciting. Now, for context, and this is entirely, you can stop the video now. If you're sick of listening, stop this. Go to Welcome to Gameful Alliance and move on. But if you want some context, and I'm not saying my story is compelling and you need to embrace it, but my journey has been very atypical. And by the time you get to the Mac Lab, this header may be gone, these maps may be gone, it may have been replaced with something else as I look towards next year. But what won't be gone are these links up here. And Gameful Learning is something I built after discovering we were going to have this opportunity to pitch this idea to you, to try to condense and consolidate what it means to embrace gameful learning. And I'll be honest, it'll probably take you about an hour to get through this, including the half-hour of videos at the end. The Mac Lab way is all about the evolution of the Mac Lab and how this weird way of engaging kids has evolved. And it happens from things you would never imagine. A piece of graffiti at your feet. I didn't write this, by the way. And then it moves on to Reimagine, which is a serious look at the state of education today and what we might be able to do about it, how we might be able to embrace disruptive strategies to provide a far richer experience, not just for our kids, but for ourselves too. And to remember, the world these kids are inheriting is not the world we inherited. Think of the crises on the horizon that they need to be prepared for. They need to be creative problem solvers. They need to be able to be lifelong learners, to be able to distinguish fact from fiction. And yes, to some degree, we all teach that. But how much is autonomy a part of their journey? How much choice do they get along the way? And how scary is that for a teacher? How can you scaffold that experience for both them and yourself? Well, in these 3 articles, think of it as a smorgasbord where you pick and choose what works for you. Some of this is going to seem really outrageous. And perhaps right at the beginning of Reimagine, this perceptual juice cleanse might be a great place to start. Or not. You make the call. I've talked long enough. I want you to use this tool to do things I never imagined, because we're all different and we're all going to build something different with a stack of lumber and the tools and our own unique plan. And I can't wait to see what you make.